Listen carefully because this isn't supposed to be public. What I'm about to tell you was never meant for ordinary ears, but you're here now, and you can't unhear this once it's inside you. So I'll say it once. The weak version of you has been killing you slowly, and tonight we kill it back. Close your eyes for a second and imagine this. There's a version of you standing in a dark room right now. It's you, but smaller, frail, shoulders slouched, eyes full of excuses. That version of you is whispering to you every single day. Take the easy way out. Sleep a little longer. Don't risk it. You're not ready. That voice has been manipulating you for years, and you didn't even fight back. Do you know what that voice really is? It's not you. It's a pattern, a parasite, fed by every time you stayed comfortable, every time you said later, every time you let fear dictate your choices. That weak version of you isn't some harmless little habit. It's a predator, and it's been devouring the strongest version of you from the inside out. And here's the part nobody tells you. If you don't kill it, it will kill you. Not physically, worse. It'll kill the life you could have had. It will murder your potential quietly, and you'll die a slow death surrounded by comfort, safety, and regret. That's how most people live. They never even realize they're slaves to a weaker identity they built themselves. But you're different. Or you wouldn't still be listening, because I can promise you this. Once you see what's really happening, you'll never be able to unsee it. That's the curse of truth. The game is rigged, and the weak version of you has been the rigging all along. Here's the secret they don't want you to know. Strength isn't something you're born with. Neither is discipline, confidence, or success. Those things are programmed into your mind through habits, repetition, and relentless self-control. And right now, you've been programming yourself for weakness every day, every choice, like clockwork. Do you want to know how to kill it? It won't be pretty, it won't be easy, but it will be necessary because you don't improve weakness. You don't motivate weakness. You execute it. You suffocate it by refusing to give it what it feeds on: comfort, excuses, fear. Tonight, you decide if you're willing to do something most people never do. Murder the version of yourself that's been running your life. Not tomorrow, not when it's convenient. Now. And when we're done here, you won't just be motivated, you'll be dangerous, because the man or woman who kills their weak self becomes unstoppable. That's who you're about to meet. That's who you were always meant to be. Now listen closely. The descent begins here. The deeper we go, the more you'll feel your old identity trying to claw its way back. Don't let it. Because once we cross this line, there's no going back. Let me tell you something brutal. You've been living a lie, and it's been so well crafted you didn't even notice. Every time you said, "This is just who I am," you lied to yourself. Every time you muttered, "I'm not disciplined, I've always been like this," you lied. Those aren't facts. Those are stories. Stories the weak version of you has been feeding you like poison, drop by drop, until you believed it was truth. Think about it. You weren't born afraid to take risks. You weren't born procrastinating. You weren't born addicted to comfort. You trained yourself into weakness, repetition, years of reinforcing avoidance until it felt permanent. And here's the twist most people never realize. If you trained yourself into weakness, you can train yourself out. But you won't. Most won't, because the weak version of you doesn't want to die. It will fight for its survival like a parasite protecting its host. You felt it before, haven't you? That resistance when you try to change, that voice that says, "Do it tomorrow. You're tired. One more hour won't hurt." That's not random laziness. That's manipulation. Your weaker identity has mastered psychological warfare against you. It knows exactly how to whisper the right excuses at the right time to keep you in chains. And you've been obeying it, like a puppet. Do you want to know why this speech matters? Because most people will die without ever meeting their real self. They'll go to the grave convinced that their weakness was just who they are. But you, if you've listened this far, you're already different. The fact that you're still here means something inside you is awake now, and once it's awake, you can't put it back to sleep. Here's a fact you won't like. Every day, you choose which identity gets stronger. Every single decision, wake up or snooze, push forward or delay, take the risk or stay safe, feeds one version of you and starves the other. You are literally building one of two people with every choice you make. The stronger you or the weaker you? Which one do you think you've been feeding more? And here's where you need to get ruthless. Stop calling weakness normal. Stop excusing it because other people live that way too. Most people are miserable. Most people are trapped. Why would you use average as your standard? If you want a life that feels extraordinary, you must become extraordinary, and that means doing what ordinary people refuse to do. Right now, I need you to burn this into your mind. The weak version of you is not you. It's a construct, a fake identity built from repetition. And starting today, you stop feeding it. Not by motivation, not by hype, but by cold, calculated daily execution, like a soldier following orders. From this point forward, every action is a weapon. You are at war with the old you. Every time you do what you said you'd do, especially when you don't feel like it, you stab that weak version in the chest. Every time you choose discomfort over comfort, you starve it. And every time you ignore its excuses, you are reborn. So tell me, are you ready to start pulling the trigger? Because in the next section, we're going deeper into the science of how you've been programmed and exactly how to rewire yourself into the version of you that can't be stopped. You think you're making choices, but you're not. You're running on a script you didn't write. Every habit you have, every excuse you make, every "I can't" that slips from your mouth, it's not you talking. It's programming. Years of unconscious repetition have turned you into a machine, and the worst part? You've been programmed to fail, and you didn't even notice. Let me prove it. What's the first thing you do when you wake up? If your hand goes straight to your phone, you've already lost the first battle of the day. That single act tells your brain, I'm reactive, I'm not in control, I obey whatever stimulus grabs me first. Do you understand how dangerous that is? You're literally training your mind to surrender before the day even starts, and you wonder why you feel stuck. Time is not just passing, it's shaping you. Every repeated action is carving grooves in your brain, strengthening certain neural pathways and weakening others. If you spend hours scrolling, procrastinating, hitting snooze, guess what? You're not just wasting time, you're programming weakness into your nervous system. And the more you repeat it, the more automatic it becomes. You're literally teaching your brain to betray you. But here's the good news. Programming works both ways. Just like you trained yourself to avoid discomfort, you can train yourself to crave it. Just like you built a habit of hesitation, you can build a habit of action. The brain doesn't care if the pattern is good or bad, it just obeys repetition. And that means starting today, you can hijack the system. Here's how. Every time you feel resistance, do the opposite of what your weak programming tells you. If it says stay in bed, get up immediately. If it says do it later, do it now. If it says take it easy, push harder. This isn't just about willpower. It's about rewiring your brain. Every act of defiance against that programming sends a signal. We don't live like that anymore. And here's the psychological trick no one tells you. Your brain doesn't need you to win big at first. It just needs proof. Small wins stacked daily start shifting your identity faster than you can imagine. You're teaching your brain a new story, one where you're the type of person who follows through, who acts immediately, who doesn't negotiate with weakness. But listen carefully, because this is where most people screw up. They wait until they feel ready. That's the trap. You will never feel ready because your current programming is designed to keep you safe, comfortable, predictable. The weak version of you feeds on hesitation. The strong version of you is born in instant execution. Right now, you need to ask yourself, how much longer are you going to let an outdated program run your life? Because here's the harsh truth. If you don't reprogram your mind, someone else will. The world is full of systems designed to keep you distracted, docile, and addicted. If you're not actively conditioning yourself, you're being conditioned by them. And I need you to do something for me right now. If you're serious about this transformation, if you're ready to kill that weak version for good, comment, "The old me is dead," twice below. Not once, twice. Lock it in. Burn it into your mind. Make this the moment you declare war on your old identity. Because in the next section, I'm going to show you how time is being stolen from you every single day and how to weaponize it before it's too late. Every second you waste is not just gone, it's stolen. Someone else owns it now. And if that sentence doesn't terrify you, you don't understand how time works. Because time is not just hours on a clock. It's your life bleeding away in silence. Every time you scroll, procrastinate, hesitate, you're handing over pieces of your future to the weaker version of yourself. And that version is winning because you keep feeding it. Look at the pattern of your day. You wake up late. You move slow. You waste hours on things you won't even remember next week. Then, at night, you feel that burning regret in your chest, the sick realization that another day just slipped through your hands. And here's the brutal truth. That regret is a warning sign, but you're ignoring it. Every time you ignore it, you're building a habit of tolerating failure. The weak version of you lives off stolen time. It thrives in wasted minutes. It loves when you say, "I'll start tomorrow," because tomorrow never comes. That's the game. Every time you delay, you're reinforcing the identity of a man or woman who delays. You're proving to your brain that weakness is who you are. And every day you repeat it, you dig that identity deeper. So here's the strategy. You need to treat time like a weapon, not a luxury. If I looked at your day, would I see a man at war with his own excuses, or a man being slowly killed by comfort? Because that's what this is, war. And the battlefield is every single hour you live. I'm going to give you a timetable that crushes weakness. Write this down because if you follow it for 30 days, it will rewire your life. Wake up early, before the world is awake. Why? Because those quiet hours are when your mind is sharp, undistracted, dangerous. Spend the first 90 minutes on your body and mind, training, reading, journaling, no phone, no scrolling. You're conditioning discipline before the day even starts. Then, block your day into power windows. 3 hours of deep, uninterrupted work. No multitasking, no cheap dopamine. You attack the most important task first. Why? Because every time you complete something hard early, you're programming your brain to see yourself as someone who dominates the day instead of surviving it. Evenings? Reflect, review, recalibrate. You write down what you did, what you failed at, and what you'll crush tomorrow. You don't hide from failure. You study it like a predator studying its prey. And here's the real secret. The timetable isn't about time. It's about identity. Every time you follow through, you're not just managing hours. You're proving to yourself that you are not the same person who wasted yesterday. Every completed task is a vote for the stronger version of you. But you need to understand this. Time will punish you if you don't respect it. Keep wasting it, and you'll wake up 5 years from now the same person you are today, just older, more bitter, and full of excuses. Or you can weaponize every hour, stack wins, and rebuild yourself into someone unrecognizable. The clock is ticking, and the weak version of you? He's hoping you ignore this, because every second you hesitate, he grows stronger. In the next section, we're going to dive into the hidden power you've been ignoring your whole life, the psychological switch that turns pain into fuel. Once you learn this, discipline won't feel like torture. It will feel addictive. You've been lied to about pain. They told you pain is bad. That discomfort means stop. That struggle is a warning sign. But what if I told you pain is the single most powerful weapon you own, and you've been throwing it away every day? Listen carefully, because this is where most people never recover. Weak people run from pain. Strong people feed on it. That's the only real difference. Pain is not punishment. Pain is data. Pain is proof that you are exactly where growth happens. And if you learn to rewire your brain to see it differently, you'll never look at struggle the same way again. Think about it. Every breakthrough you've ever had was born in pain. The heartbreak that made you stronger. The failure that forced you to level up. The rejection that pushed you to work harder. But what did you do after those moments? Did you embrace the lesson? Or did you swear you'd never feel that way again? Because if you're avoiding pain, you're avoiding growth. The strongest men and women alive, they chase pain on purpose. They train harder than necessary. They tackle work that scares them. They deliberately choose the harder path because they know something you don't. Pain is a signal that you're entering territory your weak self can't survive in. And that's exactly where you need to live if you want to kill that weak self forever. Here's how you flip the switch. You must start reframing pain as progress. When your body screams in a workout, that's not weakness leaving you. It's strength being built. When your mind resists getting up early, that's not fatigue. It's the old version of you fighting to stay alive. Every time you feel pain, say this to yourself. This is proof I'm becoming someone new. Do you want to know why most people fail at transformation? Because they negotiate with pain. They think, just this once, I'll take it easy. They think they can rebuild themselves while still living like the old version. Impossible. You can't kill the weak version of you by keeping him comfortable. You have to starve him, suffocate him, crush him with habits he cannot survive. And here's the dark truth you need to swallow right now. You have been manipulated to stay weak. The world has trained you to seek comfort, cheap entertainment, instant dopamine, easy shortcuts, because a weak, distracted, comfortable person is controllable. Strong people are dangerous because they can't be manipulated. They don't fall for easy pleasures. They build their own power. So here's your challenge. For the next 7 days, deliberately choose discomfort every single day. Take cold showers. Train when you're tired. Work an extra hour when your mind wants to quit. Eat clean when your cravings scream for junk. You're not doing this for results yet. You're doing this to send a message to your brain. I am no longer negotiating with weakness. And I need you to do something right now to lock this in, because I want to know who's really serious. Type this phrase in the comments right now, twice, exactly like this. Pain is power. Pain is power. Why? Because when you write it, you're making a commitment not just to me, but to yourself. You're declaring war on the old you. And that simple action starts rewiring your brain into the identity of someone who takes action immediately. In the next section, I'm going to expose the psychological manipulation that has kept you stuck for years, the subtle mental traps that make you sabotage your own success without even realizing it. Once you see it, you can never unsee it. You think you're free. You think your choices are yours. But let me rip that illusion apart. You've been programmed, manipulated, and conditioned to stay exactly where you are. And the worst part? You're the one enforcing the prison walls now. This is going to sting, but you need to hear it. Your mind has been hijacked by invisible rules you never agreed to follow. Rules like, don't push too hard, you might burn out. Rules like, it's okay to rest, you deserve it. Rules like, if it's not fun, it's not for you. You didn't come up with those ideas. They were planted in you by a system that feeds on weakness. Because a disciplined, focused, unstoppable human is hard to control, but a distracted, emotionally reactive, easily entertained human, that's the perfect slave. Let me give you an example. Every time you reach for your phone instead of doing the work you promised yourself, you're not making a harmless choice. You're strengthening a habit of distraction that someone else profits from. Every time you tell yourself, I'll do it tomorrow, you're reinforcing a mental loop installed by years of comfort-seeking behavior fed to you by advertising, entertainment, and fake self-care culture. Here's the ugly truth. Your weakest self is not natural. It's manufactured. And you've been unknowingly maintaining it every time you choose comfort over challenge. But there's something even darker. Your brain loves the trap. It loves dopamine. It loves the easy hits of pleasure because it keeps you safe from risk. Your mind will sabotage you to protect the identity you've repeated for years. It will whisper, don't push too hard, you're not that kind of person. It will say, you've never been disciplined, stop pretending. And if you listen, you reinforce the cage. Here's how you break it. You must deliberately destroy the mental patterns that protect your weakness. How? By acting directly against them. When your mind says, rest, you've done enough, do one more set. When it says, you're too tired, start anyway. When it says, tomorrow is better, take action now. Every time you override that voice, you are rewriting your identity at a neurological level. Understand this. Every small act of discipline is not just an action. It's a vote for the new you. Every rep, every cold shower, every hour of focus is building neural pathways that make strength automatic. That's why elite performers seem different. They're not special. They've just installed new software in their minds while you've been running outdated, weak programming. And let me make this very clear. You can't negotiate with the old you. The weak version will never leave quietly. You have to kill it through action, starve it through discipline, and bury it under repetition. Now pay attention, because in the next section, I'm going to reveal how to rebuild yourself into someone unrecognizable in 90 days or less. Not with hype, not with fake motivation, but with a psychological timetable designed to force transformation whether you feel ready or not. 90 days. That's all it takes to kill the weak version of you and replace it with someone unrecognizable. But only if you're willing to follow this like your life depends on it, because it does. Understand this first. You are not rebuilding habits. You are rebuilding identity. And identity doesn't change because you want it to. It changes because you prove to yourself every single day that you are no longer who you used to be. 90 days of this, and you'll never be able to look at yourself the same way again. Here's the brutal protocol. Follow it or stay weak forever. Phase 1. Destroy the old patterns. Days 1 to 30. The first month is war. You are not adding good habits yet. You are eliminating weakness. Every time you do something that reinforces your old identity, you're feeding the enemy, so you starve it. Wake up 2 hours earlier than usual. No negotiation. The first battle of the day is won or lost in the first minute after your alarm. No mindless scrolling, no dopamine traps. Delete the apps that steal your focus or lock them for certain hours. Pick one weakness you've been feeding. Maybe it's procrastination, junk food, skipping the gym, and attack it relentlessly. No excuses, no cheat days. The point is not perfection. The point is proving to your brain that you no longer tolerate the behaviors of the old you. This is identity demolition. Phase 2. Install the new identity. Days 31 to 60. Now that you've weakened the old patterns, it's time to build new ones. Here's where most people quit because they think results should feel good by now. But listen carefully. Results don't feel good at first because your brain is still trying to drag you back to who you were. Fight it. Create a non-negotiable daily schedule. Wake time, work time, training time, learning time. Your life should run like a machine, not a suggestion. Start small but be consistent. And even 20 minutes of reading, 30 minutes of exercise, and 1 hour of focused work every day is enough to rewire your brain. Every night, review the day like a ruthless commander. What did you do right? Where did weakness creep in? Fix it tomorrow. Phase 3. Solidify the unstoppable you. Days 61 to 90. By now, the old version of you is dying. But you need to finish the kill. This phase is about making strength automatic. Add intensity. Wake up earlier, train harder, work longer. Not because you need to, but because you are proving that discipline is now who you are. Push through resistance daily. Do one thing every day that terrifies you or makes you uncomfortable. Fear is the final chain, and breaking it makes you unstoppable. Track transformation aggressively. Pictures, journals, stats. Every proof you collect builds belief, and belief cements identity. By day 90, the weak version of you won't just be dead. It will feel like it never existed. People will look at you and say, "What happened to you?" And you'll know the answer. You happened. You rebuilt yourself from the ground up. Now, if you're serious about transformation, do this right now. Comment, "The old me is dead," twice below. Not once. Twice. Write it with certainty because repetition isn't just for the algorithm, it's for your brain. The moment you declare it, you're locking in the decision that most people are too scared to make. And in the next section, I'm going to reveal the final secret, why even after all this, most people still fall back into weakness, and how to bulletproof your mind so you never ever return to who you were. This is where most people fail. They do the work, they push through the pain, they taste progress, and then they collapse back into weakness. Why? Because their mind was never truly rewired. They changed their behavior, but their identity was still chained to the past. Listen carefully. Your body can be rebuilt in 90 days, but your mind, that's a war you fight for life. And if you lose it, all your progress will rot away. Here's the truth no one wants to hear. The weak version of you is not dead. It's sleeping. It waits in silence, hoping you'll let your guard down. And the second you stop training your mind, it will crawl back, whispering lies you used to believe. You've done enough. You deserve a break. You're already better than most people. That voice is a trap. The moment you agree with it, you're back where you started. So how do you make your mind bulletproof, untouchable by weakness forever? Never negotiate with the old you. You are not a democracy. You do not debate with weakness. When your mind says stay in bed, you don't argue. You move. When fear says don't try, you do it anyway. The second you start reasoning with your old self, you've already lost. Rewire with repetition. Your identity is built from repeated thoughts. The strong train their mind daily, not just their body. Read, write, speak power into existence. Every morning, declare who you are becoming. Every night, review who you were today. The brain believes what it hears most often, so make sure it hears strength. Replace comfort with hunger. Most people collapse because they secretly start craving comfort again. You must flip that. Train your mind to feel disgust for comfort and hunger for struggle. Celebrate pain. Get addicted to the grind. Say this to yourself every time you feel tired. This is the part where the weak quit. I don't quit. Build mental anchors. The strongest piece. People have mental triggers that lock them back into power instantly. It could be a phrase, a memory, or a vision of who you refuse to become. Create one right now. Close your eyes and picture the weak version of you, the tired eyes, the excuses, the failures. Burn that image into your mind. Every time you hesitate, pull that image up and ask yourself, do I want to be him again? The answer will force you forward. Surround yourself with iron minds. Weakness is contagious, so is strength. If you're around people who normalize mediocrity, you'll sink. If you're around killers, you'll rise. Cut the dead weight. Build a circle of those who live like you want to live, or do it alone until you find them. And here's the final truth that separates the elite from everyone else. You don't stop when you feel strong. You don't stop when you're winning. You keep going because strength is not a destination, it's maintenance. The weak ask, when can I rest? The strong ask, how much further can I go? Remember this, there is no finish line. The strongest version of you isn't a goal, it's a standard. You live it every single day or you lose it. So if you're still here, if you've heard every word and you feel it in your chest, I want you to comment it again right now. The old me is dead, the old me is dead. Not for me, for you. Because if you can say it and mean it, you've already done what 99% of people never will. You've killed the weakness and stepped into power. And in the next and final section, I'll show you the ultimate manipulation of life itself, how to bend time, perception, and opportunity to make success feel inevitable. You've made it this far, which means you're not like the others. Most people would have quit after the first truth, but you're still here, which tells me you're ready for the last revelation, the one they never want you to know. Listen very carefully. Life is not fair, but it is programmable. And the ones who win at the highest level, they're not just disciplined, they're manipulators of reality. They bend time, perception, and opportunity until life has no choice but to obey. You've been told to work hard, to grind, to push. That's the beginner level. The elite don't just work harder, they change the rules of the game. And you're about to learn how. Manipulate time. Time is the greatest equalizer. We all get 24 hours, but the powerful make it feel like they have more. How? They stack their hours. Most people live reactively, moving from distraction to distraction. You must live offensively. Wake up before the world, front-load your most important work in the first 3 hours, and eliminate anything that doesn't push you forward. If you master your morning, you control the day. If you control enough days, you control your life. And here's the deeper secret. Speed compounds. If you act fast while everyone else hesitates, you'll lap them in months. Move before you feel ready. Take the shot before it's perfect. Perfection is where the weak hide, too. Manipulate perception. Perception creates power. The way people see you determines how they treat you, and most people let the world define them. Stop. Build a reputation that moves doors before you even knock. Speak less but with authority. Dress like someone who respects himself. Operate like someone who already won. And it's not just about how others see you. It's about how you see yourself. Write this down. The world will believe what you consistently demonstrate. If you act like a leader long enough, people will follow. If why no, you act like a failure long enough, you'll convince yourself you were born to lose. Manipulate opportunity. Most people wait for luck. The elite manufacture it. They create collisions with success by putting themselves where opportunity lives. Go where the deals happen. Talk to the people who already have what you want. Position yourself so when the right moment arrives, you're the first person in line to grab it. But here's the darkest truth. Opportunity does not reward the most deserving. It rewards the most prepared. Every day you waste is a day someone else sharpens their blade. And when the moment comes, you either strike or you watch it go to someone hungrier. Program your identity until reality has no choice. When you live with this level of control long enough, reality bends. People will start calling you lucky. They'll whisper that you have something different, but you'll know the truth. You rewired yourself into a man or woman who life couldn't ignore. Say this with me right now, and say it like you're burning the old version of you to ash. I bend life to my will. I bend life to my will. And from this moment forward, understand something final and irreversible. You are no longer playing by the rules you were born into. You've killed the weak version of you, rebuilt yourself from steel, and taken control of the game. The only question left is, will you keep playing small or will you take this power and dominate? Because now you know the truth, and once you know, you can never unknow it.